The entrance to Banff National Park is 100 kilometers west of Calgary on the Trans-Canada Highway. Banff townsite is 16 kilometers further west. This community is a vibrant, year-round resort. Exceptional panoramas of the area are to be found from the tops of surrounding mountains. Hiking trails or cable cars offer safe access to alpine viewpoints. The town site is dwarfed by surrounding peaks like Mount Cascade. Hotels, restaurants, and gift shops cater to all tastes. The Banff Park Administration Building is faced with rock quarried near the base of Mount Rundle. Mount Rundle's interesting skyline makes it a familiar landmark for Banff residents. Summer visitors give way to skiing enthusiasts when winter arrives. The ski areas of Norquay, Sunshine, and Lake Louise are within 45 minutes of downtown Banff. Canadian Pacific's Banff Springs Hotel is an excellent example of architectural design popular earlier in this century. A series of hotels like this one were built across the Rockies to serve elite travelers in the early days of Western Canada's popularity. The Banff Springs is known worldwide for its architecture and unique surroundings. Banff's visitors can take advantage of the best of Canadian friendliness and scenery while staying in any of the extensive Banff accommodations. The Cavan Basin Hot Springs in Banff is the location of Canada's first national park, created in 1885. Recently renovated, the Cavan Basin is a good example of preservation and use in national parks. Each year, the springs are visited by millions of people, yet the integrity of the original historic site is maintained. On the side of Tunnel Mountain is the Banff Centre. Formerly called the Banff School of Fine Arts, this highly respected school is located in surroundings designed to inspire artistry. The Bull River flows through the heart of Banff townsite. Below the Banff Springs Hotel, the river cascades over a rock ledge, thereby creating Bull Falls. The river itself originates nearly 100 kilometers away at Bull Lake on the edge of the Waputich Glacier. Recreational activities such as river rafting, hiking, horseback riding, and fishing are available in summer months. Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep are found on the mountains surrounding Banff. One especially good place to see them and other wildlife is on the Bow Valley Parkway west of Banff. This highway takes visitors to the junction of Highway 93, which runs southward to British Columbia and Kootenay National Park. En route is Johnson's Canyon. This is a favorite stop which allows access to some of the Rockies' most beautiful canyon scenery. Waterfalls, caves, and plunge pools can be seen during an easy 1-hour walk. At the point where the BC boundary is reached are the remnants of a forest fire. It devastated the area in 1967. This burn is an excellent viewing area for wildlife and mountain flowers. Elk and moose are commonly seen in the area. A few kilometers further south is Marble Canyon and the nearby trailhead for the paint pots. The rock of Marble Canyon is not marble, but a type of limestone easily eroded by the fast-flowing waters of Tokum Creek. The canyon is full of peculiar rock formations, waterfalls, and plunge pools. Several hours of easy hiking are required to see the canyon and paint pots. Colorful deposits found around the paint pots occurred due to mineralization such as iron and zinc. The mountains towering over the highway at this spot are part of the Great Divide. This represents the highest point of land in western North America. As well, it is the boundary between Banff and Kootenay parks and the provinces of Alberta and British Columbia. On the drive southward to Radium Hot Springs are several scenic viewpoints and historic markers. North of Radium, elk browse in meadows along the Kootenay River, and mountain goats frequent the highway near Mount Wardle. The hot springs at Radium, like the Upper Hot Springs in Banff and Mayette Hot Springs in Jasper, are open summer through winter. The geological events which have created all these springs are related to the mountain building processes. Cold water, seeping downward through rock faults, becomes heated and returns to the surface at these sites. Due to the dry climate of the Columbia River Valley, it is common to see Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep near Radium. Traffic jams caused by sheep crossing the highway are a common problem for wardens in this area. Returning up Highway 93 to Castle Junction, there is the opportunity to see Castle Mountain. Formerly called Mount Eisenhower, after the American president, its name reverted back to Castle Mountain, a name it was given in the early 1800s. The large tower of rock on the right hand is still called Eisenhower Tower. The drive along the Bow Valley Parkway, which parallels the Trans-Canada Highway, is quiet and very scenic. Both highways join east of Lake Louise below the glaciated heights of Mount Temple. This mountain, at 3,300 meters, is one of the highest peaks in Banff Park. Further west is the village of Lake Louise. From here, a climb of 200 meters up the mountainside is the location of beautiful Lake Louise. The mountain landscape of Lake Louise is considered by some to be the most beautiful scenery in the world. This beauty is the result of ongoing processes of glaciation and erosion. Glaciers almost 100 meters thick still hang from the face of Mount Victoria at the far end of Lake Louise. The melting ice of these glaciers feed the lake and lend it the exotic hues of green and blue. The Chateau Lake Louise is located at the near end of the lake. This hotel has a long history of accommodating traveling people. Its present form is the result of much restoration and reconstruction. Guests at the hotel have comfortable accommodation and a near-perfect view of the lake. Horseback riding, canoeing, and hiking are popular summer pastimes. Some of the finest hiking trails in the Rockies are to be found near Lake Louise. Spectacular mountain scenery awaits visitors around each bend in the trails. Lake Agnes Tea House is an easy 2-hour walk above Lake Louise. Looking down from the tea house, a panorama of the Chateau Lake Louise, Village Lake Louise ski area across the valley, and the valley of the Bow River stretches off into the distance. In summer, visitors can take advantage of hospitality at the tea house while overlooking the blue-green water of Lake Agnes. Mountain flowers, wildlife, and unsurpassed scenery reward those eager to hike these mountain paths. Moraine Lake is a 20-minute drive from Lake Louise. The lake is nearly surrounded by the Valley of the Ten Peaks, a series of very high mountains. Many are capped with glaciers. Moraine Lake Lodge at the near end of the lake is open June through September. Heavy snow and avalanches across the highway close the road late in the fall. Across the valley from the Valley of the Ten Peaks is Larch Valley, famed for the golden larch trees of late September. While spending time at Moraine Lake, it may be possible to see the elusive pika or rock rabbit. Traveling west of Lake Louise, the old Trans-Canada Highway passes under the wooden pillars of the Great Divide. This familiar landmark has been at this spot since early in the history of Yoho National Park. The Canadian Pacific Railroad and the Trans-Canada Highway pass through the narrow Kicking Horse Pass to the west of here. This pass represents not only the boundary between British Columbia and Alberta and Yoho and Banff parks, but also the dividing point for water flowing both east and west from the Rocky Mountains. Standing on the edge of Divide Creek, it is possible to watch stream water which splits and then flows either to the Atlantic Ocean via Banff Park or the Pacific Ocean via Yoho Park. Fireweed, oxeye daisy, and purple fleabane flower in profusion at this altitude. Before descending from Kicking Horse Pass, there is a side trip up to Lake O'Hara, possibly the most beautiful of the Rockies alpine lakes. It is difficult to find words equal to the task of describing this mountain grandeur. Access to Lake O'Hara is by reservation only. Parks Canada maintains a backcountry registration and information office near the top of the road. A 12-kilometer long hiking trail or a bus trip of approximately 20 minutes are the only ways of seeing Lake O'Hara. Accommodations here include the exclusive Lake O'Hara Lodge or the Alpine Club of Canada's Elizabeth Parker Hut. It was recently designated a historic site. The lodge is open June through September and again December through March for cross-country skiing. Hiking, climbing, fishing, and photography are some of the ways this area is appreciated. From Lake O'Hara, there is a descent into the Kicking Horse Valley of nearly 1,000 meters. On the way, a well-visited spot is the Spiral Tunnels viewpoint. In the late 1800s, Canadian and Swiss engineers working for Canadian Pacific Railroad constructed a tunnel system into the mountains. These tunnels spiral through the rock, allowing trains to turn almost 360 degrees within the mountain, thereby gaining or losing altitude. Parks Canada has an informative display at this viewpoint. After the descent from the Kicking Horse Pass, there's a side trip up the Yoho Valley. It leads to one of the highest waterfalls in Canada, Takaka Falls. The combined distance that water falls into the Yoho Valley from its rim is 350 meters. The water in the falls forms a significant part of the flow of the Yoho River and originates from a vast glacier system called the Waputtik Glacier just above Takaka Falls. Waputtik is an Indian word for mountain goat. The glacier system which bears this name stretches from just south of Takaka Falls all the way north along the Icefields Parkway to Mistaya Lake. The access road to Takaka Falls is closed in winter due to heavy snowfalls. Directly west of the Yoho Valley, and also fed by the melting water of the glaciers, is Emerald Lake. The water of the lake is emerald in color on sunny days, but can vary its hues of green with changing weather. When meltwater from the glaciers reach their maximum in early July, the lake becomes its deepest shades of blue-green. Yoho's superb hiking trails give excellent access to mountain flowers, reclusive wildlife, and wilderness experiences. Canoeing, horseback riding, hiking, and fishing are popular pursuits in the area. In 1902, the Canadian Pacific Railroad began construction of a lodge at the south end of the lake. It is nestled in the trees on the lake's south shore, offering particularly good vantages of the surrounding peaks. There have been many revisions to the original building, but the present-day Emerald Lake Lodge still retains much of the original historic flavor. It is open summer through winter, a time which enhances its feeling of enchantment and seclusion. Water from Emerald Lake flows southward to the Kicking Horse River. Near the junction of the Kicking Horse and Emerald Creek is the natural bridge. Rushing water of the Kicking Horse has cut deeply into rock, thereby creating this natural formation. The town of Field has a population of about 250 people. It is the administrative headquarters for Yoho National Park. At one time, it was a bustling center for the Canadian Pacific Railroad. Rock outcrops high above the town are the location of the world-famous Burgess Shale World Heritage Site. Some of the finest soft-bodied fossils in the world originate here. Guided hikes are the only access to these restricted areas. Information about these hikes is available at the Travel Information Center at the entrance to Field. This center maintains an excellent display of fossils found on the Burgess Shale site. A 15-minute drive east of Field is the south end of the Icefields Parkway. Minutes up this highway is Herbert Lake. Looking across the lake are the reflections of mountains surrounding Lake Louise. Further north, the Crowfoot Glacier tumbles down off the Waputink icefields, almost to the roadway. These icefields are hidden from view to the west and extend northwards to Mistale Lake, a distance of almost 40 kilometers. At the base of Crowfoot Glacier is a milky blue lake, Bow Lake. It stretches north and around the mountains. This is the headwaters for the Bow River, which flows through Banff and eventually to the Hudson's Bay. On the far shore of the lake is a stunning red-roofed building. Its name, Numtija, is an Indian word for marten, an animal related to the mink. It was built by one of the early explorers of the area, Jimmy Simpson Sr. The highway climbs to the highest summit on the Icefields Parkway a few kilometers north of the lodge. Bow Summit is 2,200 meters above sea level. To the west of the highway is the Bow Glacier and spectacular peaks of the Great Divide. Most are capped with glaciers. From a viewpoint north of the summit, one of the finest vistas in the Canadian Rockies unfolds. The incredible color of Peyto Lake to the right and Peyto Glacier off to the left. There are few lakes in the mountains more beautifully colored. Midsummer snowfalls at this altitude serve only to enhance the robin's egg blue of the lake. Peyto Glacier is part of the main body of the Waputehk Icefields. To the north is the Mistaya River Valley. Mistaya is an Indian word for grizzly bear. Many species of alpine wildflowers and wildlife can be seen along the road. Descending to the Saskatchewan River crossing, there is a popular stop for bus tours and weary travelers. Towering above the crossing are several rugged peaks. Mount Wilson to the north, and Mount Murchison to the south. "30 kilometers north of the crossing is the Weeping Wall, enormous cliffs of limestone. Due to rainfall and melting snow, water flows over these faces, the amount varying with weather. In winter, the cliffs become ice waterfalls, popular with ice climbers. After a long looping climb, there is a viewpoint overlooking the road just ascended. Here, a panorama of the Saskatchewan River Valley stretches all the way back to the Saskatchewan River crossing. Moose, elk, and caribou use this valley all year round. After again climbing upwards and rounding a curve, there are summits of high mountains all around. To the south are the rolling green ridges of Parker's Ridge. Parks Canada maintains a superb hiking trail on this mountain. Visitors wishing to see alpine wildflowers and wildlife are encouraged to hike this area. Another few kilometers north, and the boundary of Banff and Jasper parks is reached. To the south is the Athabasca Glacier. This glacier is a lobe of ice which descends from the main body of the Columbia ice fields. One of the most spectacular of all the mountains to be seen on the Icefields Parkway, Mount Athabasca, is popular with mountain climbers due to its beauty and ease of access. On most sunny days, parties of climbers can be seen scaling its heights. In 1942, the site of this sign was the toe of the glacier. It is hard to imagine the pace of glacial retreat without these markers. To the north of this sign is the Columbia Icefield Chalet. Accommodation at the chalet is available only during summer months. West of the chalet, Parks Canada maintains an interpretive center about these ice fields. This center has many excellent programs, as well as weather forecasts and information about guided walks. Travel by foot on the ice can be very hazardous. Safe guided hikes onto the toe of the glacier are conducted daily during summer months. Unguided people can easily fall into a crevasse 30 meters deep. Mount Columbia, the highest mountain in Alberta, is found on the main body of the ice fields just beyond view to the south. The Columbia ice fields are the largest body of ice south of the polar ice cap. In summer, snowmobile tours ferry visitors safely across the ice for close-up exploration of the glacier. From the toe of the glacier to the skyline ridge in the distance is nearly 10 kilometers. Ice flowing down through this valley is hundreds of meters deep. Just minutes after beginning the descent from Somewhat to Summit, the water of Tangle Creek forms one of the most beautiful waterfalls on the Icefields Parkway, Tangle Falls. This is an excellent place for a stop, as Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep are often seen in this area licking the surface of the highway to find salt and minerals. Along the length of the Icefields Parkway, it is possible to see wildlife. Goats climb easily on rugged cliff faces above the highway, heedless of the danger below them. Grizzly bears are often spotted by lucky visitors eating ripening berries along the edge of the roadway. The berries they most often prefer is called soapberry, a name which adequately describes the offensive taste of a fruit-bearing bush known as Shepherdea. Furry marmots will seek out sun-warm boulders on which to spend endless hours sunbathing and grooming. Many species of birds also use this unique alpine habitat. Before the Sunwapta River flows into the Athabasca River south of Jasper, it tumbles over a series of rocky ledges, thereby creating Sunwapta Falls. Bridges and hiking trails are maintained here by Parks Canada. North of the highway is an interesting mountain range called the Endless Chain Ridge. This rock is tinged red by mineral deposits. Not far beyond this ridge is Maligne Lake. A few minutes' drive south of Sunwapta Falls, and the Athabasca River takes its turn at being a cataract. Athabasca Falls is a must for visitors. Each day, with the changing meltwater from the glaciers, these falls change their character. On cool days, clear blue meltwater tumbles noisily into its depths, while on hot days, a chocolate-brown maelstrom crashes and thunders so loudly it can be heard many kilometers away. From this point on the Icefields Parkway, it is possible to take a small detour along the 93A highway to Mount Edith Cavell and Jasper. Jasper is a bustling town of park-oriented people. It is very different from Banff, but it's also a popular destination for many travelers. Pyramid Mountain towers over the town, its orange-colored rock lending a feeling of warmth to the town even in cold winter months. A complete variety of services are available most of the year. Rail passengers often begin or end their mountain holidays in Jasper, as the CNR passes through Jasper on its way to the west coast of Canada. Parks Canada's Administration and Information Office for Jasper is located downtown. Like the administration building in Banff, it is faced with local rock. North of Jasper is the world-famous Jasper Park Lodge, offering superb accommodation with beautiful scenery. This lodge is now owned by Canadian Pacific Hotels. North and east of Jasper is Maligne Canyon. Parks Canada's self-guiding interpretive trail to the canyon offers safe viewpoints and accurate information. Following the Moline River eastward, the river suddenly widens into Medicine Lake. Meltwater runoff variations and underground drainage from the lake can make this body of water one of Jasper's largest or smallest lakes. Magnificent Moline Lake is Jasper's largest and deepest lake. Pure glacial meltwater drains from the mountains surrounding the valley, thereby filling the lake. A return lake cruise of approximately 90 minutes offers photographic opportunities seldom equaled even in this beautiful mountain landscape. The focal point of the cruise is Spirit Island. This photogenic spot has become famous throughout the world, condensing into one vignette the spirit of the Canadian Rockies. Jasper is at the north end of the Icefields Parkway, but it is not the end of the Canadian Rockies. From here, highways extend both east and west to much more mountain scenery, outside of the national parks. This quick trip through the 4 mountain parks ends here, but it should only be an enticement to smell the fresh air, photograph the wildflowers and wildlife, and explore further the pleasures to be had in the Canadian Rockies.
These are the weird and wonderful fossils of the Burgess Shale. Nowhere in the world has a more diverse and well-preserved collection of soft-bodied fossil animals yet occurred. Located 2,300 meters above sea level on a mountain shoulder between Mount Field and Mount Wapta, the Burgess Shale overlooks the Kicking Horse River Valley and the Trans-Canada Highway. The tiny original Walcott quarry is only the size of a couple of boxcars, yet it has yielded almost 80,000 fossils, a find of extraordinary richness.